Tuesday, November 8th, 2016. That is the date of the 58th United States presidential election. Happens to be today. As we all know, every 4 years, the people of the United States are granted the opportunity to cast their ballots and vote for a president. The ability to vote for your leaders is the cornerstone of democracy. The ability to vote for your leaders has been expanded through blood, sweat, and tears, thanks to the efforts of people like Frederick Douglass and Susan B. Anthony. The ability to vote for your leaders is what separates this great nation from dictatorships like North Korea and Cuba. The American populace is given such great power, yet we so easily throw it away by not voting. We say things like, oh, I'm not really into politics, or it's not like my single vote will do anything, or I'm sure the rest of the country will make the right choice. Not voting because you aren't into politics is like not exercising because you don't want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's just a silly excuse. The average voter turnout in the US for the last 4 presidential elections was a little under 60%. That means that just over half of the people in the US who can vote chose to do so. The presidential election is the most important vote an American citizen has, but half the country, for one reason or another, have decided that it wasn't worth it to vote. According to the Pew Research Center, the United States voter turnout in national elections is less than the majority of developed nations. Sweden, for example, has boasted over 80% voter turnout for the last 70 years. If you say that you're just going to stay at home because an election is never decided by a single vote, you're probably correct. However, if you're having that thought, then chances are hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of other people are having that same thought. And elections are decided by those tens of thousands of votes, especially given how the Electoral College works for presidential elections. A small number of extra votes in the right places can even outweigh popular vote. See George Bush versus Al Gore. Your extra vote may push a small, tight electoral district over the edge for a candidate, and someone else's extra vote may push their district. Even though hundreds of millions of other people voted, your vote is still valid. The aggregate power of those hundreds of millions of people is incredible. A large voter turnout can accomplish things people would have thought impossible. For example, on June 22nd of this year, very few people believed a world superpower would actually vote to leave the European Union. The next day, with a 72% voter turnout, Britain announced its people of the country had done it. Democracy may not always result in a good decision, considering the pound has dropped 20% in value since Brexit, but when people come out to vote, there can be immense change. In this country, we like to talk about how free we are and how freedom is our foremost principle. But by being eligible to vote and still not doing so, you're leaving the fate of your future, the fate of the country's future, the fate of the world's future in someone else's hands. How's that freedom? The idea of other people deciding your future for you goes against everything we stand for as Americans. There are 7 days until the election, or 20, today is the election, or it's in 20 days if you get all of your information from Mr. Trump. But I will not be old enough to vote in this election cycle, so all I can do is request that you do if you want. Many of you will be able to vote this year. This is your chance to shape the country we live in and make your voice heard. Being able to vote is your privilege, your responsibility, and your duty. You get to help decide who becomes your next president. If recreational marijuana is legalized in Massachusetts, if the charter school system should be expanded. Martin Luther King once said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." Please take the time out of your day today to vote for a candidate, be it Secretary Clinton, Mr. Trump, or even a third-party candidate. Thank you.